first off, happy birthday.
Thanks, man.
I thank you for taking the time out to do this with me on a day like today. It's holiday
no
and
problem.
it's your birthday.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
I definitely appreciate you taking the time.
No problem, man.
All right. So
Yep.
I will let all the people know, because we're going to host this on YouTube, that this is Kendall Gill, which everybody knows. 15 years in the NBA.
Yeah, 15. Yeah.
Okay. Which teams and how long with each team?
I was drafted by the Charlotte Hornets in 1990, and I played three and a half seasons for the Charlotte Hornets. Then I played 2 seasons for the Seattle Supersonics, 6 for the New Jersey Nets. Then I went on to play 1 season in Miami, 1 season in Minnesota, 1 season in Chicago, and 1 in Milwaukee.
Okay, so you retired from after you played in Milwaukee?
Yeah, I retired then. Yeah.
All right, so out of the different teams that you played for, which do you think, like, if you can name one, what was the best one you played for?
I think the best one was the Charlotte Hornets, because that was the team that drafted me. That was the team that, I enjoyed playing for the most, with Larry Johnson, Alonzo Mourning, Muggsy Bogues, and Dale Curry, and all those guys. I think as NBA players, you always want the team that drafted you. You always want that to be the best experience. Sometimes it's like that for some players, sometimes it's not. But for me, in my experience, I had the best basketball experience in Charlotte.
Okay, how did you, for people that don't know, because I personally don't know, how did you feel going into the draft and hearing your name called? What was that like? I
was extremely nervous.
Really?
Yeah, when I heard my name called, I was in New York at the Jacob Javits Center, and I was the 5th pick in the draft, so I knew I was going to go somewhere between 3 and somewhere between 2 and 5. Mm-hmm. So I expected to be called, but I mean, nothing prepares you still the same when David Stern walked up there and called your name. I think you prepared, but when they call it, you got to get up and get the hat and walk and do the interview and all that. So, all of that was cool, man. I really enjoyed the experience, but I was nervous. I can tell you that much.
Really? Did you see that documentary, The Last Dance? Because I saw you on there. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you saw me on there trying to run Michael down, and he dunked the basketball at the end. Yeah, the documentary was great. I thought it was a perfect depiction of everything that had gone on. A lot of people are saying, well, it didn't make Scottie Pippen look good. It didn't make Horace Grant look good, and Michael was totally different. But, that's just the way it was, man. And, that's the type of leadership style Michael had, Magic Johnson had a different leadership style. So did Isaiah Thomas. So did Larry Bird. I mean, everybody leads differently, gets to their players differently, and that's just the way Michael did it, He appeared to be, crude and everything, but you can see that in the documentary when Michael says, hey, if that's the way I play. If you don't want to play that way, don't play.
Yeah.
So it made it tough for people to play with him sometimes.
Who would you say, because you played in the league, who would you say are your top 5 players of all time?
Top 5 players of all time: Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Hakeem Olajuwon.
In that order?
In that order, yeah, that's the top. Well, no, I have Michael Jordan, the best NBA player of all time, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest of all time because of what he did in high school and college. Nobody can compare with Kareem, but Michael. And I've had to come around to this. Michael is the best NBA player of all time, but you just can't argue with Kareem's numbers, man. His numbers are comparable to Michael's. He's got the single most devastating shot in NBA history, never to be repeated. He's also won 6 championships. He's won 6 MVPs. So, I mean, it's tough to separate the two. But because Michael has such impact on the league monetarily and spreading the league worldwide, I give the edge to Michael. But I have it Michael, Kareem, LeBron James, Magic Johnson, Hakeem Olajuwon.
Okay. Now, I'll go a little bit before your NBA career. And I always remember that Flying Illini team. That was like the greatest thing ever assembled. What was that like?
Well, first of all, a lot of people don't know this, but all of us were from the state of Illinois. Okay. So we were truly a state team. I don't know if there's been a team in NCAA history that everybody was homegrown. They weren't from outside. I mean, we were so thick as far as being native from the state of Illinois. Even our walk-ons were from the state of Illinois. Nobody was from outside the state. Nobody, the managers, nobody. So then you take a mix of the athleticism that we have, the mentality that we have. I mean, unfortunately, we didn't win a national championship, but you go back and you ask the team that won at Michigan, and they'll tell you Illinois was the best team in the country that year. We just caught them on an off night in the Final Four and won.
So when did you know that you were good? When did you know that I am good enough to take it to the highest level? And because 15 years in the NBA, I mean, to make it to the NBA is a lot, let alone a long career with the type of respect that your name brings throughout the NBA. At what age did you look and say, you know what, I can make it pretty far in this?
It was my junior year after we beat LSU. Okay. I scored 27 points, and I played against Chris Jackson, who changed his name to Mahmoud Abdul Rauf. Okay. Who still to this day was the toughest player I've ever had to guard. So when, my coach actually told me, he said, "Yeah, he said you had a lot of pro scouts in the stands today, and they saw everything that you did." And that's when I knew, okay, I'm going to be able to play at the next level if I keep this up. If I keep continue to work hard and continue to play well, then I have an opportunity at the next level. So it was that day, man. As soon as we played LSU, then my coach came up to me and told me.
What gives you because to be a standout star in high school, to be a standout star in college, make it to the pros last 15 years. Yeah. Now I've known you for a while, and
a long time.
That competitive drive, you still have that. A lot of people, they lose that. Where did you get that drive? Because I tell people all the time, I'm like, Kendall is an adrenaline exercise. And he's going to be that way until they put him in a box. It's like, where do you get that drive from?
A lot of people think I'm from the suburbs. They think, oh, he's from Madison, which is cool, but I'm really from 82nd and Sangamon on the south side of Chicago. Right. That's where I spent the first 10 years of my life. And, when I turned 10 years old, my parents moved us out to the suburbs. But in those alleys on 82nd Street, I got to play with my cousins, baseball, football. We never played basketball. Baseball, football. We would box. We would do everything in that alley. And, the kids from all over the neighborhood would come there and play. And everybody was competitive. And that's exactly where I got it from. I didn't want to lose, because that meant that, I would have to sit out games. I couldn't play with my cousins if they won, so we would have to win in order to stay playing in the alley. So that's where it comes from, man. And it just never left, I worked out the day, at 8 in the morning. It's my birthday, but I still had to get my workout in.
Right. I've been seeing this a lot on Facebook. You have what's called the 60-40 Club. Explain it to me.
Yeah, the 60-40 Club is a group of former athletes, and you don't even have to be a former athlete. You can be a husband, wife, or somebody like that to come and join the 60-40 club. So what we do is we meet out on the football field and we sprint 60 yards. Then we jog 40, touch the goal line, turn around and do it again. Down and back is 2. You start off with 20 sprints a day. You add on 1 per day until you get to 45, okay? And then by the time you get to 45, you will have run 4,500 yards on that day. But you have to do the ladder. You cannot skip days. You cannot, like I had a lot of guys come up, says, oh, I missed my workout yesterday, so I'll just do 22 sprints today since I missed 21. No, you can't do that because you miss 21 sprints. You got to fulfill the cycle, which is what we call it. The cycle is going up to 45, then coming back down. Then once you reach 45, you take 1 off a day until you get back down to 20. So it takes a total of about 50 days. And then we do calisthenics after the sprints are over. So we all get around in a circle and we do the same thing. We do 25 Hindu push-ups, 25 Hindu squats, 20 sit-ups. So we start off at 20 and then we hold a back bridge for 20 seconds. The same thing with sprints, you add on 1 every day. So who
thought that up? You did?
No, I did it in college. A gentleman named Professor James Anderson and Hakeem Mohammed had our 1989 Final Four team do this in the off season. Okay. And once we did it, man, when we came back for the season, we were in so much better shape than everybody else. We were destroying people, and it can all be attributed because we just did not get tired, and the mentality that it builds toughness because, when you're on day 34, 35, you're like, man, I got 10 more days to go. Can I make it? And that's the thing. Do you have the discipline to stick with it and gut it out and go all the way through? Yeah. Hey, GA. Good. How you doing?
Happy holidays.
Hey, thanks. And you.
Hey, you're 35?
Yeah.
35. Okay, so now I know how old are you? You have 2 sons, right?
2 sons, yeah, 13 and 11.
Okay. And the 13-year-old is Cody, right?
No, my 13-year-old is named Phoenix.
Right. My
11-year-old is named Coda.
Right, okay. Now, I've seen him play before.
Yeah.
I've watched footage of him play, and he has that Kendall Gill KG swag about himself. He know he good.
Yeah, he does, but to his credit, he wants to be his own man, and I tell him this all the time. He's way better than I was at 13. He's just more skilled than I was. He's bigger than I was. He's faster than I was. So, if he wants to make it to the next level, that being college or pro, he has everything he needs. Now it's just on him, whether he wants to make it or not. But he has the work ethic, and he doesn't take any shortcuts, which I'm proud of. So hopefully, one day you may see him in the league. That's what he wants to do, and all he needs to do is just continue to put in the work. I mean, how it is training training GA, and you've been around champions, Sean Ray and all those guys. Right. So the formula don't change. The formula is hard work.
Yeah. So do you push him to play, or you just don't? You don't? Because I know with me, with being a bodybuilder, I've never pushed my son to want to be a bodybuilder. If you choose that, I'm gonna help you. If you don't, I'm not gonna push it.
Right, exactly. And what I had to do when he was maybe 3 years ago, I was sometimes I would push him too much, and now I just lay back. I let him ask me, because I think as parents, we have to understand that, you know, they're not going to make it because we want them to make it. They're going to make it because they want to make it.
Right.
And, you know, so I lay back and, you know, I kind of orchestrate his workouts and things like that, but I don't like last week, you know, he was upset with me because he said, Dad, you didn't wake me up to go run. I was like, I'm not waking you up. You got to do that on your own. I set your alarm clock. If you want to go, I'm here.
Right.
You know, but if you don't, I'm not going to come and get you. You know, you got to want to do it. So he understands that, and you know, I think that's one of the most important parts, you know, of, you know, having a child. You know, let them do what they want to do.